If you're in your 60s or beyond, may I share something that surprises many older adults here in the United States? A vegetable you enjoy at dinner, maybe something you've trusted for decades, can quietly change how your body behaves while you sleep. You lie down feeling perfectly normal. The house is calm. Everything feels routine. But by sunrise, your speech sounds slightly different. Your steps feel a bit unsteady, or your hand doesn't lift the way you expect. It doesn't come with pain. There's no dizziness, no chest pressure, no warning at all. It happens silently, during the hours when the body is supposed to rest and recover. Yet these hours, especially between 2 and 6 a.m., are the most fragile window of the entire night for older adults. After 60, blood flows a little slower, arteries lose some of their softness, and medications take longer to settle into the bloodstream. Even small changes in diet, especially at dinner, can create bigger effects than you might imagine. That's why some vegetables, even the healthy ones, can trigger sudden rises in blood pressure, unexpected drops in circulation, or tiny shifts in heart rhythm while you sleep. Others cause nighttime reflux, sending stress hormones rising and making you more likely to feel dizzy, lightheaded, or unsteady when you get out of bed. And if you take blood thinners, thyroid medication, or blood pressure pills, these nighttime reactions can become even more pronounced because aging changes the way your body absorbs and responds to medicine. What felt harmless at 40 or 50 can behave very differently now. My goal tonight is simple. I want to walk beside you calmly and clearly to help you understand these hidden triggers so you can protect your brain, your balance, and your independence each morning. No fear, no judgment, just gentle guidance you can use right away. Before we go any further, may I kindly ask one small favor? If you haven't subscribed yet, please tap the subscribe button and turn on the notification bell. It helps you stay connected with every new Senior Health Life video created, especially for older adults here in the US. And if you feel ready to learn something important tonight, please comment the number 9 below. If you're not sure yet, comment 0. Your feedback helps me improve and serve you better. Now, let's take a steady step into the first part of this journey. Because the very first vegetable on this list looks harmless, comforting even. Yet for older adults, it can create a quiet shift inside the body, a change that begins after dinner and reaches its peak hours later while you are still asleep. Let's begin with the one most seniors never suspect. 1. Kale. Vitamin K and nighttime anticoagulant interference. Many older adults are surprised to learn that kale, a vegetable praised for decades as a symbol of health, can behave very differently after age 60 when blood thinners are involved. It still offers nutrients, but at the wrong time of day, it can quietly interfere with the medication designed to protect you from dangerous clots. Kale contains a high amount of vitamin K, a nutrient that directly counters the effect of warfarin. When this vegetable is eaten close to bedtime, the sudden rise in vitamin K can lower your INR for several hours, reducing the medication's ability to keep your blood flowing smoothly. During the early morning window, especially between 2 and 6 a.m., circulation naturally shifts, hormones fluctuate, and older blood vessels become more sensitive to pressure changes. In this fragile period, even a small clot can begin forming without any noticeable warning. Understanding why this happens makes the picture clearer. After 60, blood moves a little slower, arteries become less flexible, and medications take longer to reach a stable level. Because of these changes, the body reacts more strongly to abrupt differences in vitamin K intake. A serving that felt harmless years ago can create a noticeable effect now, especially overnight, when the cardiovascular system is less able to compensate. Here is one example that reflects a pattern seen in many emergency rooms. A 73-year-old man from Indiana enjoyed a large kale salad with dinner, believing he was supporting his heart. He took his warfarin later that evening, just as prescribed. By sunrise, his right hand felt weak, his speech slowed, and his balance was unsteady. At the hospital, testing showed a significant drop in INR, likely caused by the kale overpowering the medication during the night. The message is not to avoid kale entirely. The key is consistency and timing. Sudden increases in vitamin K, especially in the evening, can disrupt your treatment and create conditions for clot formation while you sleep. When intake is steady and planned earlier in the day, kale can remain part of a safe, balanced routine. 2. Pickled cucumbers. Nighttime sodium pressure surge. Many older adults enjoy a few slices of pickled cucumbers with dinner, believing they add flavor without causing much harm. Yet for seniors, especially those with aging arteries or long-standing blood pressure concerns, even 2 or 3 slices can quietly influence the body during the hours when protection matters most. The issue is not the cucumber itself, but the heavy sodium absorbed during the pickling process. When sodium enters the bloodstream, it pulls extra fluid into the vessels, increasing the overall volume of blood your heart must push overnight. For younger adults, this rise is usually manageable. But after 60, the kidneys slow down, the arteries stiffen, and the cardiovascular system loses some of its flexibility. As a result, sodium stays in the body longer, making nighttime pressure higher and more unpredictable. Between 2 and 6 a.m., when hormone levels naturally rise, blood pressure climbs even further. This combination, extra fluid from sodium and early morning pressure surges, creates a challenging environment for older vessels. A silent rise in pressure can stress the vessel walls and encourage platelets to gather. And while this is happening, you remain sound asleep, unaware of the extra strain placed on your heart and brain. Before sharing an example, it helps to understand another effect many seniors notice. These nighttime surges can make blood pressure drop suddenly when you stand up in the morning. This drop can cause lightheadedness, unsteady steps, and a higher chance of falling, especially if dehydration or medications add to the shift. Here is one case that reflects what happens in many households. An 82-year-old man from Iowa named Martin enjoyed pickled cucumbers almost every evening. He felt fine and believed his routine was harmless. One winter morning, however, he stood up and felt his legs weaken beneath him. At the hospital, his blood pressure had spiked overnight and dropped sharply when he rose, likely triggered by the sodium load from the pickles. The safest approach is simple. If you enjoy pickled foods, try eating them at lunch instead of dinner. This timing gives your body more hours to manage the sodium and protects your nights from unnecessary pressure. 3. Tomatoes. Nighttime reflux and hormonal pressure surges. Tomatoes are a familiar comfort food for many older adults, appearing in soups, sauces, sandwiches, and warm evening dishes. They seem gentle, nourishing, and perfectly safe. Yet after 60, when the digestive system becomes more sensitive and the lower esophageal muscles weaken, tomatoes can quietly create a chain reaction during sleep that affects both the heart and the brain. Their natural acidity makes them one of the most common triggers for nighttime reflux, especially when eaten at or after dinner. When reflux occurs, the irritation does more than disrupt sleep. It activates the body's stress response, causing a rise in cortisol and adrenaline. These hormones increase heart rate, raise blood pressure, and place added strain on older blood vessels. For someone in their 70s, this surge can be enough to disturb overnight rhythm stability, a key factor linked to early morning stroke risk. And because these reactions happen silently, many seniors never realize what occurred until morning. There is also an additional concern many people notice but rarely connect to tomatoes. When cortisol rises during the night, blood pressure can swing sharply when you stand up. This sudden shift can lead to dizziness, unsteady steps, or even a fall, especially for adults already managing balance challenges or mild dehydration. Before sharing an example, it helps to understand why this food becomes more reactive with age. After 60, the digestive system slows, stomach acid rises more easily, and nighttime circulation becomes more delicate. A bowl of tomato soup that felt soothing years ago can now create more strain than expected. One case reflects this pattern clearly. A 77-year-old woman from Florida, named Janet, enjoyed homemade tomato soup several nights each week. She often felt mild burning at night but brushed it aside. One morning, she stood up and felt her balance slip. At the hospital, doctors noted signs of a minor stroke likely linked to repeated nighttime reflux and elevated stress hormones. The safest approach is simple. Avoid tomato-heavy meals after 5 p.m. and choose gentler options for dinner. Timing alone can make a meaningful difference in nighttime stability and morning safety. 4. Beets. Nighttime blood pressure drops and reduced brain oxygen. Beets are often viewed as a heart-friendly vegetable, especially for younger adults who enjoy better circulation and stronger cardiovascular flexibility. Many people have used beet salads or beet juice to support energy and exercise performance for years. But after 60, when the body responds differently to sudden changes in blood pressure, this same vegetable can create silent challenges during sleep. The natural nitrates in beets convert into nitric oxide, a compound that relaxes and widens the blood vessels. While helpful in moderation, this effect can become unpredictable once the body's nighttime physiology shifts with age. When vessels widen too quickly, blood pressure can fall lower than expected. During the day, you may feel only mild lightheadedness. At night, however, the drop occurs while you sleep, leaving the brain with less oxygen for several hours. Older arteries, already stiffer and narrower, cannot adjust as smoothly as they once did. This reduced flow can encourage tiny clots to form, especially during the early morning window when circulation becomes more fragile. A sudden drop in blood pressure also increases fall risk. Many seniors notice this the moment they stand up after waking. The heart needs extra time to push blood upward, causing dizziness, unsteady steps, or a brief wave of darkness in the vision. These symptoms are often dismissed as normal aging, yet they can be influenced by evening foods that shift circulation at the wrong time. Here is an example that mirrors what many older adults experience. An 80-year-old woman from Oregon, named Evelyn, drank a small glass of beet juice most evenings because she believed it was good for her heart. One morning, she stood up and felt her legs give way. At the hospital, exams showed her blood pressure had dropped significantly during the night, creating conditions for a small clot and leaving her disoriented upon waking. A safer choice is simple. Enjoy beets at lunchtime, particularly if you take blood pressure medication or notice morning dizziness. Earlier timing supports circulation without disturbing your nighttime stability. If you've ever used beet juice in the evening, comment the number 9 so I know you're learning and staying with me. 5. Soy-based vegetables, hormonal disruption, and nighttime rhythm. Instability. Soy-based vegetables and soy products often feel like safe, comforting choices for older adults. They are plant-based, low in fat, and easy to digest, which makes them especially appealing for seniors trying to avoid heavy meals. Yet after 60, the body reacts differently to hormonal shifts, and soy can influence these shifts more than most people realize. The concern does not come from blood pressure or acidity, but from the subtle hormonal effects created by phytoestrogens naturally present in soy. Phytoestrogens mimic the body's own hormones, creating small fluctuations that younger adults handle easily. With age, however, the heart and blood vessels respond more dramatically. Even gentle hormonal changes can alter nighttime rhythm stability, making the heart beat irregularly or more forcefully than expected. These changes often occur while you sleep, and because they happen quietly, many older adults never notice anything wrong until morning. When rhythm becomes unstable during the night, blood flow can slow unevenly. Older arteries, already stiffer and narrower, may struggle to move blood smoothly. This turbulence can encourage small clots to form, especially during the early morning window between 2 and 6 a.m., when the cardiovascular system is most sensitive. These rhythm shifts can also affect balance. A sudden irregular beat can make you feel lightheaded when standing, increasing the chance of falling before your body fully adjusts. Here is an example that reflects this pattern clearly. A 72-year-old woman from Colorado, named Marissa, enjoyed tofu and steamed soy-based vegetables with dinner several nights a week. She also took thyroid medication in the evening, believing everything was perfectly coordinated. But over time, she noticed more morning dizziness and occasional heart flutters. After a brief hospital stay, doctors discovered that soy was interfering with the absorption of her thyroid medication, leading to nighttime rhythm disturbances and reduced stability. To stay safer, avoid eating soy too close to your thyroid dose. Give your body several hours to process each one separately, allowing your rhythm to remain steady throughout the night. If you enjoy soy in your evening meals, comment soy so I know you're following along. 6. Brussels sprouts. High vitamin K and nighttime pressure fluctuations. Brussels sprouts often appear on dinner plates as a wholesome, harmless vegetable. Many older adults enjoy them roasted, steamed, or mixed into warm meals because they feel light, nutritious, and easy to prepare. Yet for seniors who depend on consistent blood thinner levels, this vegetable can create challenges that are easy to overlook. Brussels sprouts contain a surprisingly high amount of vitamin K, similar to kale, but the serving sizes are harder to control. A few pieces one night and a larger portion the next can create unexpected changes in how your medication works. Vitamin K plays a crucial role in blood clotting. When levels suddenly rise in the evening, it can counteract the effects of warfarin, lowering your INR and reducing the medication's protective strength through the night. After 60, when circulation slows and arteries stiffen, the body becomes more sensitive to these shifts. Small variations in vitamin K intake can echo more loudly, making nighttime blood flow less stable. These fluctuations can also influence balance. When blood pressure rises and falls unpredictably, standing up in the morning may feel harder than expected. Many seniors describe a moment of lightheadedness, a brief wave of unsteadiness, or a feeling that the room tilts slightly before their body adjusts. These sensations increase fall risk, especially after nights when vitamin K intake was higher. Here is a case that reflects what happens for many older adults. A 79-year-old man from Georgia, named Howard, enjoyed Brussels sprouts several times a week. He considered them a healthy choice and often ate them with dinner. Over time, he noticed more morning dizziness and occasional weakness in his legs. After a routine check, his doctor found his INR fluctuating significantly, likely due to inconsistent portions of Brussels sprouts affecting his blood thinner levels overnight. A safer approach is simple. Keep your Brussels sprouts portions steady and avoid eating them at dinner if you take warfarin. Earlier timing helps your body maintain consistent protection through the night. If Brussels sprouts are part of your routine, comment Bruss, so I know you're following along. 7. Bell peppers, sympathetic activation, and nighttime pressure swings. Bell peppers are colorful, crisp, and naturally sweet, which makes them a favorite addition to salads, stir-fries, and evening snacks. Many older adults choose them because they feel light, refreshing, and easy on the stomach. However, after 60, even mild stimulants can affect the body differently, especially during nighttime hours when the cardiovascular system relies on calm, steady rhythm. Bell peppers contain small amounts of capsaicinoids, gentle compounds that can stimulate the sympathetic nervous system and cause a temporary increase in heart rate. For younger adults, this mild stimulation usually goes unnoticed. But with age, the heart becomes more sensitive to sudden changes, and nighttime physiology grows less forgiving. A slightly faster heartbeat at the wrong time, particularly close to bedtime, can contribute to pressure fluctuations and make sleep less stable. These shifts can also lead to palpitations, a fluttering sensation many seniors find unsettling or even frightening when it occurs in the quiet hours of the night. These changes can also influence balance. When the heart beats faster than usual, blood may not circulate evenly when you stand up the next morning. This can cause brief dizziness, unsteady steps, or a momentary loss of balance, especially for older adults already managing blood pressure variations or mild dehydration. Even a small destabilizing effect can increase fall risk during early morning routines. Here is one example that reflects this pattern clearly. A 76-year-old woman from Minnesota, named Olivia, enjoyed sliced bell peppers with her evening meals. She often used them as a low-calorie snack before bed. Over several months, she noticed more nighttime palpitations and occasional morning lightheadedness. After discussing her symptoms, her doctor suggested shifting bell peppers to lunchtime. Within weeks, her nighttime rhythm became calmer and her morning steadiness improved. The safest option is simple. Avoid bell peppers too late in the day, especially if you experience palpitations or early morning dizziness. Enjoying them earlier allows your cardiovascular system to settle before bedtime. If bell peppers are part of your evening routine, comment pepper, so I know you're staying engaged. Before we move into the final summary, I'd like to share a simple habit that can meaningfully reduce both stroke risk and fall risk within just 7 days. Many older adults overlook this strategy because it feels almost too easy, yet it works with the body's natural rhythm instead of forcing sudden changes. The idea is to include arugula or baby spinach at lunchtime, rather than in the evening, allowing your circulation to benefit without disturbing your sleep. Arugula and baby spinach naturally boost nitric oxide, a compound that helps blood vessels open gently and improves overall circulation. When eaten earlier in the day, this effect supports steady blood flow, warms the legs, and improves afternoon mobility. It also prepares the body for nighttime by promoting smoother vascular function long before you lie down. Better circulation means steadier steps, reduced foot tingling, and fewer episodes of morning lightheadedness. When blood pressure remains more stable through the night, the brain receives more consistent oxygen, lowering the chance of early morning clot formation. Seniors often notice that walking feels easier, evening swelling is reduced, and their legs feel stronger when getting out of bed. This habit is safe, gentle, and easy to maintain. A small lunchtime serving is enough to support your cardiovascular system without creating nighttime pressure swings or sudden drops. If you'd like a full video on the best vegetables for adults over 60, please comment "good veg" so I know it's something you want to explore. Now let's wrap everything together in a clear and practical summary you can apply right away. Aging does not take away your ability to protect your brain or your balance. It simply asks you to understand how your body changes after 60. Tonight's 7 vegetables fall into 3 risk groups. Kale, Brussels sprouts, and soy can interfere with medications. Pickles, tomatoes, and bell peppers can raise pressure or trigger stress hormones. Beets can lower pressure too deeply and reduce nighttime oxygen. The early morning window, especially between 2 and 6 a.m., remains the most vulnerable time for microstrokes and balance loss. Yet you still have control by adjusting timing, portions, and daily choices. Before you go, I'd truly like to hear from you. Please share one thing you learned and plan to apply. If this video helped you, comment 9. If not, comment 0 so I can improve. And don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more senior health life guidance.